Hello class, this is Ms. Gutierrez. Today we are going to be working on an Excel workbook to create a budget. You all are about to go on spring break for 1 to 2 weeks, depending if you have to come to intercession or not. And the Magic Millions Eagle has dropped by with a surprise for each of you. You have been gifted $500 to spend. You do have some rules. You must plan 5 activities to do in El Paso and pay for you and at least one friend. The workbook must contain 5 worksheets and must follow all formatting instructions as shown in the example in your instruction sheet. Numbers must use appropriate formatting. You may pick your own activity days. You may distribute your money as you please, but you may not go over the $500 limit. And you must spend at minimum $450. Let's get started. The very first thing you want to do is you want to go to your desktop. This is your desktop. Go ahead and locate the Office folder, and then we're going to find Excel there. You should already know what Excel looks like. It is green and it has a green icon and it is called Excel. So double click on that one to open it. Once we have the new Excel workbook open, the very first thing that I want you to do is to go ahead and save it so that you do not lose your work. Okay, so we're going to click on File, Save As. Right here gives you several options. We're going to be saving to this PC so that it is saved here in the lab, and make sure that you are saving in your Documents folder. Now the file name should be your name, Spring Break. Okay, so go ahead and save it. And once you click Save, Excel will open up again and you will know that your name was saved because up here in the green bar, you will notice now your file name is there. Okay, so that is the workbook name. Now, what I recommend you all do is you can start with sheet 1. So this is worksheet 1 inside this large workbook. You're going to have 5 different sheets. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to right click and I'm going to rename this sheet by the date. Then you can go ahead and click on the plus sign, rename. Now I am just renaming them, whatever, but you all have instructions as to what you should follow. So make sure that you are following the instructions I have given you so that you are naming your items correctly. And when you are done, you should have 5 different sheets. Going back to my first sheet, make sure I am on the first sheet, I can now go ahead and get started. So my instructions read for you to merge and center from cells A1 through G1. So select the cell range A1 through G1, then click on merge and center. Then cell A2 to G2 and click on merge and center. Cell A3 to G3 and click on merge and center. Each one of these cells now should have a different text. The next set of instructions were for you to select from cell range A5 through G6. So I'm going to select those. I need to merge and center. And here I need to come up with a title for my fun day. Then I need to change the font color and fill color. So go ahead and do that. Please ensure that you get creative, okay? Don't be like me. I am just demonstrating. Get creative with what you are naming your file and so forth. Let's see. So you can change the font, you can make it larger as however it fits within that, and it still looks nice. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up with the categories. So in cell A8, I am going to start and I'm going to type the different categories. If you've done this correctly, you should have 7 different categories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if the text doesn't show, then remember that you can click at the end of the column, double click, and that will resize it to fit your text. And just as a reminder, these are columns. The letters are the columns, and the rows, when you select a row, that is the number. Okay, so those are rows, the numbers. So now for my category, I am going to be descriptive. I'm going to do admission tickets because I'm going to be going somewhere this day with a friend. Description, let's say that this day we are going to Bassett Place Movies, and then the price per unit, I'm going to pretend that it is around $14.50. Now, this is, remember, you need to change the formatting because we are talking about currency here. We're talking about money. For this admission ticket, it does not fit here, so we can go ahead and double click there. On the second one, if it is too much text, what I want you to do is I want you to wrap text. Okay, so what that does is it makes your row a little bit wider as opposed to your column. Okay, so the row will be wider, but your column will remain the same when you click on wrap text. Number of units, it is for me and my friends, so 2. Tax rate, the tax rate here in El Paso is 8.25%. Okay, that is a tax rate. Now, tax amount. This is where we're going to start using our formulas. So remember, to start a formula, we're going to press equals. We're going to start with the equal sign. And we want to calculate the tax rate for this. So we're going to start with the $14.50 times the 2. And then that times the tax rate will give us the amount. Now, $239, this is not what we are paying in total. This is just the tax amount for these 2 tickets that each cost $14.50. So once again, if I click on my formulas, notice it does select, I'm cell referencing each cell. So $14.50, which is the C9, times the D9, times cell E9. And then enter, and that is the tax amount for this purchase. So what formula am I going to use to come up with the total price? I am going to start with the equal sign, and what I would do here, now I'm going to have like a split formula. So I am going to do parentheses, and it's going to be $14.50 times the number of units that I'm going to purchase. I will close those parentheses, and whatever that total is, plus the tax amount. Okay, now guys, so now you're going to know that math does come in handy. Okay, now this is like a calculator for you. It's going to calculate everything for you, but you are the smart person driving this Excel sheet. If you don't know what calculation to enter there, then the information is going to be wrong. So this is where your math skills are important. So now we're going to press enter, and that is how much I would pay for 2 tickets to the movies, $14.50 each, 2 tickets. The tax rate is 8.25, so that's the tax amount, and that is the total price that I will pay. Okay, you can go ahead and double check this if you want to, either with your cell phone doing your own calculation, or you can go ahead and check this on a scratch sheet of paper, doing it by hand. Okay, now I did also ask for you to include a hyperlink. Okay, I want to have a hyperlink, Bassett Place Movies. So what is a hyperlink? A hyperlink is where it takes you to the internet, and it showcases, you know, if I want to know, well, what are they talking about? Because you guys may put that you're spending that money somewhere, and I have no idea what you're talking about, so I need a hyperlink. So using the internet, you guys have the internet, I have located the page for El Paso Premier Lux Cine 17 IMAX, okay, which that's the one that is at Bassett Center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the hyperlink. So I'm going to copy the address, the web address, and now I'm going to go back to my Excel sheet once I find it because I have so many things open. And on my Excel sheet, I am going to now insert a hyperlink. Okay, so how do I do that? I click on cell B9, which is where I want to insert the hyperlink. I then go up here to my tabs. I go to the insert tab and I have link here. Okay, so I can go ahead and insert the link, and let me see. Okay, if I click on the actual link here, text to display is still Bassett Place Movies. I want to know where you're going, but the address is where I'm going to paste that internet address, that web address there. But Bassett Place Movies should still remain the same. Okay, and then click OK. So when I do a hyperlink now, it shows up in blue. Okay, and if I hover over it without clicking on it, it does give me the web address. Now you're going to keep working and creating your table here, but I'm just doing this for just purposes of me showing you. So transportation, I put here Sun Metro Bus, but maybe you are giving your bro some gas money. Well, how much gas money are you giving him? Don't forget to wrap your text there. How much money are you giving him? Okay, now this is maybe somewhere, gas is expensive, guys. This is maybe somewhere where you're not going to pay tax because you're just giving your brother, right, that money. So he's not charging you tax. You're just going to put NA and NA there. Okay, and then here you would enter the formula again. But I've put NA, and if I was planning on doing the autofill, using the autofill handle here, notice how, if I drag it, it gives me an error. Why? If I click here, error and value, okay, and I can go ahead and select Y and everything and show Y. I can tell you right away why. It's because NA is not a value that can be used in my formula. So if I put zeros instead of NA, there, that's the $8 right there. The very last thing that I do need you to do is I need you to come up with your grand total. So you're going to keep working on your table. Excuse my misspellings, but yeah, you're going to come up with the grand total spent. And this one, I do want it in a different color, bolded, and so forth. Here we can go ahead and use the sum function. So equals sum, right? And it right away comes up, and then sum what? So I want to do all of these cells right above it. And I want to go ahead and do equals the sum of, whoops, going all over the place here. So it would be equals sum, open parentheses, of these cells right here, close parentheses, so G9 through G14, and enter, and that would be my grand total. Of course, your total will be different because you'll have all this filled in. Okay, then I do want you guys to go ahead and add borders on the table itself. So I'm going to do all borders on where there is actually amounts. Okay, so have fun with this assignment. Remember that you're following the same format for these different sheets here. You are spending money, these $500, for 5 different days during your spring break. Okay, so get creative with it. I do want hyperlinks here, and I do want to see all of your calculations. We are practicing how to work with Excel without having a template already built for you. I hope you guys have fun with this assignment. Thank you. Bye-bye.